Balázs, can you give us some elements on this?
Without my mask, if I may. Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for calling me back on the podium. So you invoked quite a few questions. Let me take a look at the facts. So if you talk about vacancy rates to begin with, what we see is that the rate is more or less stable over the past 3 years. In fact, from 2018 until October 2020, if you look at the rate of fluctuation, it's always around between 1 and 3 percentage points, so very, very, very limited. Now, if you look at the situation now, so in October 2020, it is in fact largely comparable to the state of play in November 2019, and of course, by the end of the year, we are expecting to make further progress in this regard. Now, let's take a look at appointments. The share of appointments at the moment is already higher than in the previous 2 years, in fact. So with the present number of appointments in the pipeline, we expect that the final percentage in 2020 will be, in fact, significantly higher than by the end of the last mandate. So what I can tell you overall is that the track record is pretty good. The beginning of the mandate, on top of that, always sees some senior staff leaving their position to join cabinets, for example, which of course a particular circumstance that has to be taken into account because it increases the number of vacant positions. On top of that, what I need to add is that we have had the coronavirus, but despite that, despite the additional workload and strain it brings about, we have managed to ensure that the senior appointment procedures have continued and proceeded as normal. And the final remark from my side would be that this Commission, of course, takes extremely seriously as well gender equality considerations, which play an important role in the selection of senior managers as well.
Thank you, Balázs. I believe part of your question related to whether there was more control from the President's cabinet on senior appointments than before. Not at all. I mean, you say, are they taking an interest in the appointment of directors? Well, the formal procedure of appointment of directors, who, by the way, are senior managers in the Commission, is something that has always involved the President's cabinet, along with the Secretariat General and other senior managers in the Commission, through what you call the Consultative Committee on Appointments. And it is a decision which is taken by the College. So necessarily, these decisions, of course, are on the radar screen of the President's cabinet, as they are on the radar screen of the senior management of the Human Resources Department. The only thing that has changed is the fact that this Commission takes gender balance extremely seriously, and you may have noticed that a new small group of people was put together that includes the head of cabinet, but not only. Balázs can give you the list. It also includes the Secretary General and some other people, in order to ensure that what comes out of the pre-selection panels in the Directorates General, in terms of candidates for the final stages of the appointment procedure, includes a balanced representation, a sufficient proportion of women, and therefore this is the only added and very valuable step that has been added in order to ensure that the House learns the culture of making sure that sufficient candidates come out from the ranks and apply for the jobs of senior manager, be they men or women. So overall, I think that, frankly, the facts bear out that there is an effective policy, including on gender balancing of senior appointments, and that it has been implemented very thoroughly, as Balázs has demonstrated to you. But I believe you had a follow-up question, Athanasios.
Telling me is there is no politicization of the appointment of directors anyhow in this process, and there is no particular interest or scrutiny from those new individuals who are scrutinizing applications on the essence of the applications of directors. Because you always knew that Director General and Deputy Director General level was always handled by his chief of staff back in the day, and always were semi-political positions. But director level was largely ignored by the 13th floor. So what you have just described means that there is no politicization of this thing right now as a new element, but only an attempt to introduce gender balance. Am I right on that, or have I misunderstood what you told me? Thanks.
You're definitely right on the fact that there is no, I don't know what you call political interference. As I said, directors are appointed by the college. Okay, and therefore these decisions by the college are always taken in agreement with the commissioner in charge. That's very important. The commissioner in charge of human resources, and then the whole college. But after a process that involves, in particular, the cabinet of the president in the context of the committee on the consultative committee. On appointments, and this has always concerned directors. Having gone through it myself some years ago, I can tell you that, of course, there is always an involvement of the highest levels of the House in appointing senior managers, which start at the level of director and senior advisors. All right, so there's nothing absolutely new. What I've said is that we do have an added scrutiny that involves the President of the Cabinet, the Secretary General, the Director General of, the Head of Cabinet of the Commissioner in charge of Human Resources and DG Human Resources, on the fact that what comes out of the pre-selection panels is sufficiently representative of the wide talent pool that we have in the institution, both in terms of men and women. And I think that that's a good thing. And despite this added scrutiny, the number of senior appointments that has been made since this commission has taken office is actually higher than the number of appointments which was made in the last year of the previous commission, and there will be certainly more appointments to come before the end of the year. So for us, there is really no story there at all. Okay, thank you very much. I see a huge number of questions for us today, which I'm very grateful for. And I think also reflects the fact that we haven't had an online briefing for a short while. So I think we will stop on this issue and move on to the next person having raised her hand.